Hello Team Neyla. We are going to show you what it looks like to work on a nail trimming training session. So she is on Parket, kind of showed you that last week in one of her videos. So now we're going to show you what it looks like to actually work on touching her paws, feeding her treats, showing her the clippers. You can see a pair of scissors sitting next to her. They're grooming scissors, they're not nail clippers, but they're pretty close and kind of give her the same idea. So I'm going to start by just giving her a treat and touching her shoulder down to her paw. She's comfortable with that, so I'm going to give her another treat. Starting shoulder down to paw again, but picking up the paw. Good girl. Same thing again, but I'm going to, yes, we're working on paws. Yes, good girl. Actually hold a little bit longer. I'm going to use touch the other foot. Good. It's really great if I can get her to eat the treat while I'm holding her feet. Touching and holding the feet seem to be pretty, not too difficult. You can tell she's kind of like, oh, like she knows what we're working on. But when it comes to actually like spreading the toes, squeezing the paw a little bit, which is what you would do if you were trimming her nails. Good girl, she's really good with that one. But that is kind of where we started, where she started showing signs that she's uncomfortable, was the holding the paw and actually spreading the toes, and she's doing really good with it now. Good girl. I can show her the scissors, and you can tell she kind of shies away from them, which you had told me that even the clippers in the room, she would leave the room. Good girl. So just the fact that she's turning her head toward me while I'm holding them is what I'm rewarding her for. Good. Good girl. And notice I'm kind of like setting the treat on top of the scissors a little bit, and even that could be a little bit too much for her. Neyla. So if it's a little bit too much for her, then I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to get her to turn back around here. Good girl. You don't have those scary clippers. Good girl. Good girl. So just getting her comfortable again, being with me. And these sessions really shouldn't max be 5 minutes long when it comes to something that's so uncomfortable to her. Good girl. And I'm using as high value treats as I have, the ones that she likes the most. And the only time I pull these treats out is when we're working on this. Good girl. I really want to end on a good note. So that's why I'm taking a step backwards from the clippers. When you do a session, you always want to end positive. I want her to think like, oh, awesome, like you're gonna touch my feet. That means, good girl. That means I'm gonna get a bunch of good stuff and good things are gonna happen. Good job. Spreading toes and feeding at the same time. Good girl. I do kind of want to introduce the clippers back just to end it on a positive note. So she sees them right here to my left. Good. Oh. And she's having a hard time taking a treat because the clippers are kind of like in her eyesight, but I'm just gonna give her a minute. It's in her peripheral. Every time she turns is when she sees the clippers. Neyla. You can put the treat in front of her nose and yes. Good girl. Good. And that's where I'm gonna end the session. This can be really time consuming and her nails are pretty long. So it's something you could do, if you could do it twice a day for 5 minutes when she comes home. And the idea is that we're gonna slowly be able to actually maybe trim one nail at a time each day. And then eventually, if we keep working on it, trim all of her nails all at once without a big fuss. But that's gonna take a while, but that's all right. Good girl.